So welcome to Wheat's Arts channel, back here with another video. Today we're going to talk about a couple of four pieces of artwork of mine. Let's go ahead and start with this guy right here. This one is called Shades of Shards. And this was kind of an experimentation of my of my gray pens and the shades of gray. Kind of looks nice with shattered glass. I wasn't expecting it to look nice with doing a few different shades of gray on this. So this was kind of an experimental piece just to see how well it would turn out with just using shades of gray in the center for the glass. Kind of just speaks to you. And of course my eyes right there. Gotta add some eyes to some of my artwork. This is a nice little quick piece here. Probably only took maybe an hour and a half, probably an hour and a half at most. I think what takes the longest is probably coloring in these squares down here. That's probably what takes the longest, is just the squares. All right, now this is a two-in-one topic. Now this is gold ink on black paper. I personally don't think it came out well, and it's not for lack of trying, but because I have not had good experience with metallic pens. Maybe I'm not using it on the correct paper, but I don't know. If you look at it closely, it's just a little too grit. The ink is too grainy. I mean, it looks okay when you're looking at it from like a distance. It looks nice and shiny, but I haven't had too many good experiences with metallic inks, especially Sharpies. But this isn't the worst. This is not my worst drawing by any means. However, this brings me to another topic. I do not remember what year I did this. I want to say 2017 or 2018, but I have no recollection of literally what year I did this. I think I did this when I was in Idaho at some point, but I really cannot remember anything about this, honestly. I don't even remember working on it. And I forgot to sign it, of course. I always try and sign and date my work. There are like a handful of pieces where I forgot to sign and date it, and it's driving me crazy because I can't remember what year I've done some of these. I just don't have a great memory bank for certain things. And I think the same thing happened with my silver piece. I did my gold and silver piece, but I don't remember what year I did them in, which is frustrating. Like I said, that's not my worst piece. I just don't think the metallics are for me, to be honest. I tried metallics again, I think last year, and boy, the Sharpies came out with metallic pens. The pens, those pens themselves were terrible. The pen I used for this one wasn't nearly as bad as the Sharpie pens, the Sharpie metallics. Anyways, on to the next piece. Ooh, yes, this is I made like 20 or 30 mistakes in here. This piece is called cover up because basically this piece is one big cover up. So here in the black border, this was not supposed to be go the way it went. It ended that way because I made so many mistakes throughout this border. But if you look, I don't know, let me see if you can see it through here. You might be able to see some of my mistakes. Well, I don't I don't think you could. It's hard. It's hard to video put the mistakes on video. But there's a mistake in this corner. A mistake in this corner. You can see it in person because the black ink doesn't always cover things up, and you can see mistakes up and down here in the black ink. But once again, you'd have to see it in person because you can't really. No matter the lighting, I can't seem to show off that mistake. Those mistakes. But this is absolutely riddled with mistakes. This right here and this right here weren't supposed to be there. Neither of these, this black one and this one wasn't supposed to be there. They were mistakes because too much ink slipped out of my pen and it created a splotch. So I had to even it out on that side. And then when I was done with most of this piece, I had to just do something here and here to not make it look like a complete disaster. But boy, this one just, oh man, this one probably made me pretty angry for most of the time I was working on it. But I always finish my pieces no matter how stressed out I seem to get. And this was done in last year in August. But the good news is when I do my prints of these, that you don't see the mistakes on the prints at all, which is nice. I wished I had an example right next to me to show you. The prints come out really nice. That's not right box, but let's see. I bet I do have a print of it in here. Yes, I do. This is the print of that one. You you won't be able to see any of the mistakes that you'd see if you uh, in the original. You can still see them in the black ink on the original, but not on the prints. And you can always buy a print off of me. Just send me an email. All right. Now we're on to this one. This is the fourth one today. All right. This one is called Crop Circles. This one was done at the end of July of 2024. This is my masterpiece right here, but it still has several mistakes, but you can't see any of them, and I don't know where they are at this point because I was able to cover them up very well. The only one that you'd be the only mistake that you would be able to find, and that's if you even consider it a mistake, is in the center right here. Some of the patterns are a little off in the center here, but you wouldn't notice it just by looking at it. But there were mistakes in the center there, and I covered it up pretty well. But this is my masterpiece here, actually. And every single drawing I have seems to have mistakes, and I'm not okay with it, but I have to be okay with it because it is what it is. I think one of the most annoying things I've ever heard was, "Oh, it's a happy little accident." Most annoying thing I've ever heard as an artist. Because I just want to stay mad at these mistakes and these small, small disasters. But this is my masterpiece, and it came out very well. Huge poster size. This piece took me probably about 3 months, give or take a few days. 3 months to complete, working on and off, of course. I always encourage people to sign and date their work because the last thing you want to do is end up with a nice piece, but you can't remember when or even what year you created it. I think it disturbs me more that I can't remember what year I created that gold and silver piece. But it is what it is. The good thing about me live streaming my artwork is that I can go back and figure out what day I did it. But the art pieces that I did before 2020, I can't do that with. I was doing artwork on my other channel until I opened up Wheats Art in 2024, I think it was, because this is my third year now on Wheats Art. I completed 2 full years on Wheats Art. Now I'm starting my third one as of last month. So I haven't been on Wheats Art too long, but as I continue creating pieces, I will continue to do so on my live streams that I do once every other week or so. I haven't been doing too many drawing live streams. I've kind of just been uh I want to say burnt out a little bit. I think burnt out is kind of where I'm at. I created 100 pieces last year, and then I created a lot the year before, but last year was my most prolific year. So I'm kind of slowing it down this year. I will try to create another piece very similar to this. I want to create another big piece just very similar to this, where there's just a little bit of color on the border. But I also want to do a big one like this where it is fully colored. So I've got a couple ideas in mind for a couple more of these big ones. With that being said, um, always finish what you start, even if you hate it. I try to keep going with that motto. I'm working on a few pieces out in the living room that I really don't like, but I am determined to finish it because I always finish my artwork. Sometimes you have to go in a different direction with your artwork. Sometimes you have to set aside what turned out to be a disaster for you in that moment and walk away from it or start a new piece, but always come back to that piece that you think is a disaster and just kind of go a different direction. Do something random with it. Draw random ideas. Just explore your random side. Who knows? Sometimes things turn out better than they were originally supposed to. With that being said, I want to try to do shout out Sundays. So my shout out Sunday, I want to start doing videos for Sundays where I'm shouting out other art channels. So if you're an artist, it doesn't matter if you're sewing, crocheting, or if you're scrapbooking, or if you like to draw or paint or build, if you consider yourself an artist and you comment on my shorts or my videos, I will make sure to add you to the list for shoutouts on Sundays. I think I will do a shout out video starting tomorrow. I want to try to get back into weekly videos for this channel. And I think the best way to do that is to start doing shout out Sundays. So my shout out videos, I'm going to look at the comments I get on my shorts and my videos. So if you comment on my shorts and videos, I'll make sure to add you to the shout out video on Sundays. Shaw! Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. And one of my videos is almost to 9,000 views. It's got 30 likes. I want to try to get it to 50 likes. So make sure you click on that video below here. I will have that in the screen here at the end of this video, probably right now.